We are part of the Fired Up Sports Network of shows. Please check out other Fired Up Sports Network podcasts like the P-Lot Pod, Water Cooler Talk, Bell Smashers, Philly Sports Love and Pain, Drunk on Broad, Beer Battered Sports, and the Fired Up Sports Show, which are available on all major podcasting hosting sites and social media. Also, check out Mark Ramos' Roundup on firedupsports.com, which breaks down the happenings going on with all your favorite local teams.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
Swinging a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup for the lead. Yes!
Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
Yo!
We're back.
Hey, the gang's here. Hey, the gang talks football. I like it. What's up, boys?
Oh, what's going on?
What's up, Rich?
Well, none, man. Just chilling. Welcome in, Philly. Thank you for joining us on another edition of Drunk on Broad with your hosts, Rich, Don, and Joe. I'm just kidding. That's not the energy because it's fucking football season. The fucking bullshit preseason's done. We cut Davion Taylor. Life is good.
Oh,
Let's
damn
play
it.
some fucking football.
Dude.
Rich, I thought for a minute we were about to play like the NPR sounder.
Oh, dude, how funny would that be? It's like, and welcome in, guys. Tuning in to Delilah on Drunk on Broad. We should get Delilah to come on. Hello, you want to request a song? Well, fuck you. Oh, you're a Cowboys fan? Well, fuck you. That's just what it'll be. That's just what it'll be. It would be so much fun.
Oh God! Listen,
I'm
Joe,
happy
you're
to be
back from the beach. I'm back from the lake. Rich is back from the treehouse.
The treehouse. Treehouse, baby.
Yeah.
Mill Creek, PA. What a place.
Yeah.
So beautiful out there. If you guys have never went, I recommend you go. Peaceful, beautiful. Hit up Raystown Lake and just enjoy it.
Good
You guys
stuff.
were busy with the fishing poles.
Yeah, dude. Yo, Adam, what's up? Yeah, Raystown Lake is the largest man-made lake in Pennsylvania, and
Yeah.
it is fucking beautiful. If you've never been there, it's worth going. I know you guys are PA guys. It'll probably take you guys well, you're past King of Prussia,
Go
right,
drunk.
Joe?
Yes.
Go drunk.
Go drunk. That's my new.
So
that's
it'll
my-
probably take you less than 2 hours to get there. It's about a half an hour away from State College. It is beautiful. I can't speak enough about how nice it is up there, how friendly everybody was, how scenic it was. It was just an amazing time in nature, climbing up some steps. There's mountains and just peaceful.
That's awesome.
If that's what you're
That's awesome.
into and you
Listen.
like peace, go.
Yeah, I was saying we were up at the lake, and
Oh, thanks, Adam.
You're talking about like walking out. It's glass in the morning, and it's just the Wi-Fi is terrible.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
you got nothing but nature, and it really is a good reset, man. That nature stuff, Joe, and I'm sure OBX treated you very well. I'm sure.
Oh, dude. The weather, the sand, the breeze, the water. That's just.
Yeah.
That's it for me. That's it for us, man. That's just the way to go for us. I'm happy. I'm a mountain guy. I'm a beach guy, but I tend to lean toward the beach. But just that downtime to decompress, sit back, have a few beverages, hang out with the family. Because I drive for a living, so I can't really indulge in the adult beverages very often. So I really I was able to sit back, to relax, and just soak it all in, man. It's so nice to reset, to unwind.
It is so nice just to get away.
Yeah,
just to get away. We take it for granted, and it's just so nice to be with the fam, be just out in nature, and just enjoying everything. It's just an awesome time.
Well, football's back, fellas.
Fucking A,
I'm glad you all got relaxed. But football
now
is
we're getting
back.
pumped up.
College football is going to be in full. We had week 0, which I don't even know what the fuck that means. But they played college football last week. We got college football this week. Boys, on Thursday night, the NFL season kicks off.
Yeah.
We're 10 days away.
1 week.
It's fucking on. So where do you want to start with so they make the final cuts this week?
Yes.
Not a whole lot of surprises.
We need to bring in Punt God. That's all I'm saying.
Listen,
we need to bring in Punt God. My man was acquitted. He wasn't even there. Bring him in.
He was. There's still civil suits.
There's still some. They don't even want to get tied into that. They just can't.
Okay. He kicks the ball far, right? Isn't there? He's not living in my house. He's in the words of my father. He's not living in my house.
The only thing I think of is, Rich, there's a reason why nobody's picked him up yet.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of fucking baggage.
So, right, but at quarterback, right, no surprises, right? You got Hurts, Mariota. The Mariota thing this offseason was kind of weird. The preseason was just it played out very weird. I mean, best case scenario, he doesn't even hit the field at all. He's the best clipboard carrier this side of the Mississippi.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yes.
Now at running back, right? DeAndre Swift, Kenny Gainwell, Rashad Penny, Boston Scott. I know we had talked a little bit about Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon ends up on the practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
I love where I feel like they're going to utilize, because the next group was surprising, right? The next group, the wide receiver group with Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and then you got Zacchaeus and Quez Watkins. I really feel like that's where you might see DeAndre Swift slide into that slot a little bit, which is why I feel like they felt like they could go with just 4 wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, Swift is going to be quite the safety valve for Hurts. I mean, he might be, gosh, your third leading receiver. He might be third or fourth. You could flip flop with Goddard, but he's going to catch a lot of passes. I think that just bubble screens, dump offs, wheel routes, whatever it may be. Having him in this offense is going to be a matchup nightmare, because it's pretty much set in stone. He's going to be lined up probably against a linebacker. So it's going to take the pressure off of Hurts. Hopefully you'll see Hurts. There'll be less design runs for him, and he won't carry the ball as much as he did last year, even though, I mean, he was tremendously successful. You still don't want to put him in those situations if you can avoid it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the surprise was the trade for Albert O. Albert O is a physical specimen. He is honestly, if he was on a better offense last year, he probably would have produced. He was a big guy that everybody was saying was a sleeper in fantasy because of his intangibles. They traded Noah Fan away, but then they drafted Greg Dulcich. And Albert O was used more in the pass blocking role. But again, you needed to, with your Denver's offensive line being putrid and him not being featured as much and some injuries. But, I mean, you're going to run a 2 wide receiver set, and you're going to have Albert O, and you're going to have Dallas Goedert. I like that. I love that. You're not going to see, like, the Eagles don't run 5 wide anyway. Even if they did run 3 wide, you're still going to have, DeAndre Swift kicked out, who's a capable wide receiver. Kenny G, a capable wide receiver. You kick him out. And then you can line up Alberto in there too, to chip and go, because he's a specimen. He's a yak guy. And Dallas Goedert. You don't really need 5 wide receivers.
No.
Would I like to see them upgrade one of Zacchaeus or Watkins? I would love that.
Right.
But at the same time, I think this offense is just going to fire on all cylinders. And you still got Greg Ward on the practice squad.
Yeah. I mean,
Mr. Reliable.
I think that took, like, I was not expecting that move. And that move to me says, like, those 2 guys are at the top of the tight end room. And it really gives you some flexibility, right? Because we did see a point in time during the year, right, where Goddard gets injured, and the drop off from Goddard to great Calcaterra and Stoll was huge. Now the drop off is not nearly as monumental, right? And you get a guy, in Albert O, that, like you said, Rich, physical specimen, basically a better version of what you thought Tyree Jackson might have been.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So
1,000%.
I love.
Yeah. Do you think they wind up the final roster? Do you think do they roll with 4 tight ends, or do you think somebody gets cut?
No, this is it.
Yeah, this is it.
This is it. This is final. This is the final roster. So, like,
at 4 tight ends.
Hey, listen,
you're going to see a lot of 2 tight end sets, and you're going to, and I think Calcaterra and Stoll, one or the other, are going to be on special teams, if not both. So,
what about I heard, and I mean, it's all just social media, but I think Isaiah McKenzie is available from the Bills. I think he may have gotten waived. Who's good at receiver and can do punt kick returns. So I am definitely bringing him in for a workout because I think he's better than Covey or Devin Allen.
Listen, I think if we've learned anything, I think we've learned that this roster could change any day, because Howie could see somebody that he really likes, right? And we can talk about the move where they bring in the guy from the Colts who got suspended for the year to kind of stash him, when essentially he was going to be, if he played this year, he was going to be their number 1 DB. And you bring him in for like next to nothing.
Yeah.
So no one, there's only a handful of guys on this roster that are safe.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Special teams with Allen and Covey. I mean, you look at this roster and you look at how this team's built. Your special teams is going to suck. You just have no pieces to sacrifice to be there. I'm not necessarily worried about or Allen. Allen can fly and Covey can catch. That's really all I need from my kick and punt returner. It's just one of those things where, like, I have the same discussion with my friends. They're like, what is the point of, these guys being back there? Why not try throwing Boston Scott? Well, you don't want Boston Scott to get hurt. Boston Scott has a role in the offense. You're not going to put him back there. Well, if you're going to have a guy just catch, why don't you put Devontae Smith back there? He doesn't need to be put in harm's way. I'm like, only thing you really need to do is just have a guy who catches the ball, and your offense drives down the field anyway. If their offense sucked, I guarantee they'd have a better special teams, because you'd be able to bring in special teams guys for a certain price that might help you. They don't fucking need a special teams. The only thing they need is a punter who can kick the ball more than fucking 30 yards in the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah. And I think, Rich, you make a really good point in saying, like, the way that the more top heavy this roster gets, there has to be some give in some other spots. And special teams just happens to be a place where they're going to have to make up some ground, and they're going to have to coach some guys up. It wouldn't surprise me if you see some of the guys that are getting regular playing time also getting some snaps on special teams, just to be able to kind of give some leadership, secure that position I think for me, right? But the two groups, Adam, is Howie going to make a move or two before the season? It's not going to be anything major. But I mean, you could see obviously you could see special teams is where I think if you're going to make any kind of move, that's where you're going to make it.
Yeah, but who are you cutting? That's the hard part. Who are you going to cut to make way for the special teams guy?
I'm just saying that, like, if there's a place to make a move, it would be there. But Rich, there is a lot of conversation about this being one of the best rosters that Howie Roseman has built.
Yeah,
because there are very little holes, right? And right now we can talk about these two groups, which arguably might be the best of the best groups of this whole roster when you talk about the O-line and D-line.
Yeah.
Right. O-line, arguably far and away the best offensive line in football. And the D-line, right, they keep 10 guys on the D-line.
Yeah.
That tells me that they're going to be it's going to be NASCAR package. It's going to be a lot of variety in how the player combinations play based on the profile of the team and what they need.
Yeah. The two deepest, probably the deepest offensive line, the deepest defensive line. I mean, doesn't get better than that in football. It's just great. And I think a lot of the teams around the league will say the same thing. That defensive line is going to be an absolute problem.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to see Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, and Hassan Reddick on the field at the same time.
I mean,
you can line up Reddick and you can line up Nolan Smith anywhere. You could bring Smith and Reddick on the same side. So here comes Reddick, and then Smith's coming on a delayed blitz, or he's coming through the A gap. You can play the joker role. You saw his athleticism, his speed, and his power, and his knack of being around the quarterback, and he's got that bend. He's got that just the nose to get back and be around where the play's at. He's that kind of guy. And so is Jalen Carter. I mean, his first play, he threw the guy out of the way like a rag doll, and made the guy have to throw the ball away. So, and that was his first NFL snap. So, it's man, I can't wait.
I mean,
blast.
I think don't underestimate the fact that, like, you're going to put Nolan Smith in the same room as Hassan Reddick, and he's basically a younger, just as athletic carbon copy of what Hassan Reddick is.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not only going to get to play with him, but learn from him, right? And then you're going to put Jalen Carter in the same room with Jordan Davis and Fletcher Cox and Milton. Well, like, you're going to put all these guys in this place where you're putting these young assets where they're only going to be able to grow because they're all kind of feeding off each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this group. But is Derek Barnett just fucking
Derek Barnett? He's smoking crack.
Rich,
he's smoking.
He and Drew Rosenhaus need to go on the list because
they need to stop smoking dope. Put it down, Derek Barnett.
Good guy.
Thinking that he deserves more fucking snaps. He's a walking penalty. I mean, I'm sorry. He's one of the best talents that came out of football. He's one of the best talents that came out of the SEC. And if any team was willing to trade a 2 for him, I think they should do it right now because that guy's got a lot of potential. One of the greatest. It sucks that he's not utilized. He should get traded.
Rich, you could not be more wrong.
Well, I'm trying to up his value. Man.
I know.
He's a fucking bum. Don, we know this.
Listen,
he's a walking penalty.
The clip of Sirianni will be forever linked to him, where he's going, it's always fucking him.
Yep.
Like he is the ultimate frustration. So
1,000%.
I'm actually surprised that they didn't when he made that request. I'm actually surprised that they didn't just move on.
Because
Howie,
Howie, it was just sometimes his pride gets in the way. You know, he was a top 15 pick, and he's just like, I'm just not there yet. I'm just not.
And Rich, look at the linebacker room, right? Because linebacker was not the latest and greatest last year, right? But you got now a really, really, really strong group, right? Nolan Smith, Hassan Reddick, Nakobe Dean, Patrick Johnson, Zach Cunningham, and Christian Ellis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's I'm excited to see this group play
Zach
behind
Cunningham's
that D-line.
a monster.
But Rich, I need you to talk about your guy, because you talked early on in the season about a guy in the DB room that everybody needed to look out for.
Eli Ricks.
And Eli Ricks, man, talk about your boy. Because you called that one way back in the summer.
Eli Ricks is my man is a problem. Sorry. It's just I brought him up because he was like a projected like number one or first round pick. He was a projected first round pick, and then something happened, and then he goes undrafted the following year. And the kid has fucking talent. And the best thing that happened to him, he comes to a D-back room where you have Darius Slay and James Bradbury. You learn under the tutelage of these two all fucking pros.
Yeah.
And it's just going to make you better. It's just absolutely insane that the Eagles were able to get Eli Ricks for a steal when he should have been. He was a projected first-round talent. And he was my guy you need to look out for. That's the dude that you're going to have to, keep your eye on, because my man's a fucking problem. And he's only going to get better. I absolutely love it. Him, Job, and Ringo, dude, like the youth. And I love Avonte Madison's line, but the youth we have at corner behind Darius Slay and James Bradbury, this group is going to be a problem. These are some of the best corners in the fucking NFL.
Talk about this, because this is the thing that jumped off the table for me. Is like, look at the guys at the bottom half of that list, right? Those guys are all in their young 20s. A lot of these guys coming out of the SEC, right? Howie Roseman has kind of identified this giant talent pool in the SEC where he's like,
yeah,
I'm just going to keep going back there because you keep getting those rewards. I look at this group and I'm looking at when you have to let the contracts of Darius Slay and James Bradbury expire, you're going to have a really solid group of young guys that are going to be ready to step in.
Yeah, that's the youth that you want on your side is you have at these positions. And it's absolutely insane. Nakobe Dean is going to be a problem for a long time. Nolan Smith is going to learn and get better. He's probably going to be your hybrid. He's your Malcolm Jenkins. And that's exactly what you want out of a Nolan Smith. And he's going to be coming from the outside because you have essentially the same fucking player in Reddick on the other side. So you have these two guys coming off the edge. It's going to be a nightmare. And then Zach Cunningham was probably the best addition because he is going to be that guy who fucking tackles, because that's all he does is tackle.
Yeah. And listen, you're Rich, at the end of this calendar year, you're going to add Isaiah Rodgers to that.
Yeah.
You're going to add a young number one cornerback from the Colts.
He was number 6 in coverage and the 5th best corner overall last year.
Wow.
Here's what I found.
Yep.
What'd you find, Rich?
Well, it came up Isaiah Rodgers when I said that.
Gotcha. Oh God. I love where this team's at, man. And
yeah,
to me, I'm just looking at this going, the thing that's driving me nuts though, I feel like the fan base is inventing reasons to be skeptical.
Yeah, I mean, I saw ESPN put something out today that the Eagles are going to be a decline. Like this year, they're not going to be as good as last year. Well, their schedule's harder, but I still think they're going to be a great fucking team. So regardless of what happens, I think they're going to be a great fucking team.
Even if they have 12 wins, 12 wins is still going to win them the division. It's still probably going to get them the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Like
the whole fucking NFC has to play the same schedule we do. The other teams aren't that good.
Who scares you in the NFC?
No one. No one scares me in the NFC.
I'm not scared of fucking Dak Prescott because he seems like a whiny little bitch because they trade for Trey Lance. I'm not scared. Like, to be honest, as much talent as the 49ers have, the quarterback position controls everything.
Right.
And I don't trust Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy started 5 games last year. The fact that they already just said they saw enough to turn the keys over completely to that dude, that to me,
what's that tell you?
Seems like super skeptical. Like, and those are the 2 teams at the top of the NFC, right behind the Eagles. I'm tired of inventing reasons why I think this team might not be what it should be. This team is fucking elite. This is a great fucking team. The roster is solid from top to bottom. You've got a lot of depth. You've got a lot of youth. And don't forget, right, Howie Roseman strikes again.
Yep.
He's got 3 draft picks in the first 2 rounds next year.
Yeah.
Like, this stockpile of youth and talent is just going to keep coming, and it's going to keep coming.
How do you go to the Super Bowl but get better?
Yeah.
How do you go to the Super Bowl but get better? When every team that usually goes to the Super Bowl gets worse.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that narrative comes from, the teams that go to the Super Bowl traditionally have a fall off afterwards. But I don't think teams that go to the Super Bowl aren't nearly as talented as this team that's going to return back. I think this team is continually building that roster to be in the upper echelon of the NFL, and especially in the NFC, right? Because Rodgers is no longer, are you scared of Kirk Cousins, Justin Fields, right? Jared Goff? Like, nobody in that division. I'm not scared of. Like, look at the quarterbacks in the NFC South, right? Bryce Young, Daniel Carr, Baker Mayfield.
Baker.
Like, am I scared of those guys? Am I scared of Sam Howell? Like,
no.
Am I scared of Danny Dimes? Like, the quarterback wins you games. And this guy is arguably the best quarterback in the NFC by a lot. Like, not by a little bit. Like, there's not a whole lot of debate. Like, there's him, and then there's like some dudes.
Yeah.
All the best quarterbacks are in the AFC besides whatchamacallit?
Mm-hmm.
Besides Jalen Hurts.
Absolutely.
That's all I can speak of with Jalen Hurts. I mean, you're looking at, if your top 10 is Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. Well, that's top 6. 5 are in the AFC. Aaron Rodgers, AFC.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Going out west.
So
who's 8? Who's 8?
So when I'm looking at this from the Sporting News, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna go Mahomes, Burrow, Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers. The next guy in the NFC is Kirk Cousins at 9. Does Kirk Cousins scare you? No.
No.
Dak Prescott. Does Dak Prescott scare you? And then you go Tua. All right. The third guy behind Hurts is fucking Geno Smith.
I was going to say, Geno Smith is the second best quarterback in the NFC. By far.
Geno Smith, Justin Fields, Jordan Love, Russell Wilson, Daniel Jones, Jared Goff. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not scared. I'm not holding my breath for any of this. Like, I'm looking at this team and going, show up on Sunday, but be prepared to get your fucking ass beat.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't see it any other way. And this, my fear in all of this, right, is that the back half of the schedule after the bye is going to be significantly harder than the front half, right? You've got a couple of games right in a row that are going to be really tough. So you got to stack. You're going to stack wins early on in the season, and then you're going to have a situation where, like, people are going to be upset because that back half of the season, they might lose 2 or 3 games. They might be the only 2 or 3 games that they lose all season, but people are going to look at it and go, oh, well, they're 4-3 in their last 7. And I'm going, wait. Like, they are going to be at the elite level of the NFC.
Yeah.
For this entire fucking season. And it's not even close. I'm just thankful we're not in the fucking AFC, because the AFC is going to be a fucking bloodbath.
Yeah, it's going to be muddy.
There's going to be a lot of good quarterbacks that are going to be on teams that don't even make the playoffs.
Yeah,
agreed.
Because the NFC South is fucking dog shit.
Oh God, the NFC South.
Oof.
Jesus Christ. I mean, you got to imagine the Saints come out of there, but like.
They have to. If anybody else does, that's insane.
You're going to see the question is, what's the over under on which game you're going to see Kyle Trask start for Tampa Bay?
Well, listen, Baker Mayfield is like.
Oh, he's going to. I'm not starting Kyle Trask.
No, not at all. But that,
like, no, I'm saying he could get benched if he. I mean. What's
Baker can't get benched because that's how bad Kyle Trask is. Kyle Trask is that bad that Baker can't get benched. If I was Tampa Bay, I would have fucking signed a quarterback that fell, that got cut. There's no fucking way that I'm riding out with Baker Mayfield. Anybody is better than Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask couldn't hit me if I was standing next to him.
Maybe Nick Foles go there.
Oh God.
That's not an upgrade.
No.
Nick Foles
That's not an upgrade.
Kyle Trask?
Dude.
You don't think Nick Foles could beat out Baker Mayfield?
No. No way. I saw Nick Foles play in Indianapolis, and that was just sad.
He's just toast.
He is toast. Jesus has left him.
Nick. Yeah, time's up.
Like, when Jesus took over his body and made him the Super Bowl savior, that was it. Like, Jesus gave him that one-time deal and was like, we're done, bro. We're done.
Listen, the heroes get remembered, but the legends never die. Oh,
no, they don't.
Listen,
go ahead,
Joe.
The biggest concern for the Eagles? I mean, we know that they're the creme de la creme of the NFC. Besides, key injuries at key positions, what would be the biggest concern? What position?
If one of our wide receivers goes down.
Yeah.
I think
that's my biggest concern.
The health, right? If the only reason this team is going to get beat, I really feel like, is if they beat themselves. I feel like they are talented enough to hang with any fucking team on their schedule, including the AFC, right? Including the Bills, the Chiefs,
Miami,
right? They got the talent and the chops to be able to hang with any fucking team on their schedule. The only thing that's going to hold them back is themselves. Yep. Right? So if you have, you get a stupid ass penalty at a really bad time, aka fucking Derek Barnett. You have a situation where special teams is gonna, if special teams cost you a game.
Yeah.
Like that health and like them beating themselves.
Yeah.
Anything short of that, Joe, I got to imagine like this team is going to win 12, 13 games.
Who's your surprise breakout player on offense and defense?
Oh, on offense, I mean, I think I'm gonna have my eye on Agent Zero all year long.
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre Swift is a guy that I really think could be dynamic enough that really would change the trajectory of this offense. The way he can catch the ball out of the backfield, the way they can put him in the slot, he really could open up a lot of doors, and especially playing him behind an insanely better offensive line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that could really be a game changer for this team.
This is the perfect offense for him.
Oh, my God. Rich, who do you got? You got a guy besides Swift?
Oh, yeah. A fucking Slim. Slim is going to be the Slim is going to be the breakout. It is his, third year, right? Third year?
Yep.
Second year in the offense with Sirianni. And the kid runs routes fucking crisp. I have a feeling you are going to see a lot more from Devonta Smith. This is like, you've seen the glimpses last year when Dallas Goedert got hurt of how great he was, but now you're going to see the further separation, and you're almost going to see a turning of the tide of 1A, 1B, and 1A being Devonta Smith, 1B being A.J. Brown. Just the route tree that Devonta can run and the route tree that A.J. Brown can run, where you can line them both up. I think you still have the ones focusing on A.J. Brown, and he's going to beat anyone no matter what. But you're leaving Devonta against some corners in this NFC that are absolute dog shit, and he is going to tear them the fuck up. I see him catching 70 balls for 1,200 yards and 11 touchdowns. I think he is going to go the fuck off this year. I really do. I think he's going to go off this year.
I mean, listen, everything is there for him to, for him and AJ Brown to just kind of like trade weeks. Like it's one guy 1 week. And we saw that a little bit last year, right? The guy, they kind of took turns about who was going to jump off the table. But like, Rich, I think you're spot on, because I think, the conversations coming out of camp from the DBs about Devonta is kind of what led me to that. I kind of came to the same conclusion. I would expect huge things from him.
Yeah.
Joe,
I think
who's the guy you got your eye
on? I guess offensively for me, it's I guess I'm going Goddard. I mean, he's one of the top three tight ends or somewhere in that range. But I think because of the added focus on a guy like Smith and the added focus on a guy like AJ Brown, and now you have DeAndre Swift into the mix. I think he might be kind of one of the guys that gets lost in the shuffle. But I could see him having 1,000-yard season and 6 to 7 touchdowns.
Joe, you could envision a scenario, right, where like if all the attention is going to AJ and Devontae and DeAndre and Jalen, right? Like I trust Goddard to be one-on-one with anybody.
Yeah.
And to beat him because he's got to be like he's in the top 5. He's in that second tier of tight ends, right? Because it's Andrews and Kelsey at the top, and then there's but I feel like Goddard is right in that second group.
I think I would take me personally, I would take Goddard over Andrews.
Really?
I would take Goddard over Andrews just because of his size, his athleticism, his physicality. I think he's arrived, and I think you're going to see it this year. I think he's really going to be showcased, and he's going to make the best of his opportunities when he gets them.
I love it. Gentlemen, what do you say we take a commercial break and then we'll talk some fantasy on the back end?
Let's do it.
Von C. Brewing Company is a 20-barrel, 16,000 square foot microbrewery with a 2,500 square foot tasting room, including a spacious outside beer gardens in Norristown, PA, in the heart of Montgomery County. The Von C. family is part of the family that started C. Schmidt and Son Brewing in 1860. Stop in Wednesday through Sunday and taste a variety of draft and 16-ounce cans of originally brewed beer and tell them the Drunk on Broad crew sent you. Von C. Brewing is located at 1210 Stanbridge Street, Suite 300 in Norristown. Cheers.
Team Clicks are the only glasses for real sports fans. With interchangeable arms, you can support all of your favorite teams, or even make and create custom options as well. These die-hard sports fans have realized that sports fans needed something other than face paint to show their love and passion for their teams. Go to teamclicks.com/DOB and show your love for your hometown team.
La Torrent's curated collection of men's and women's watches is a perfect investment that lasts for years to come and fits perfectly with your every outfit and style. Our range of classic watches aren't just a great perfect formal and casual accessory, but a time machine that takes you back to memories. Explore our collection of timeless watches that can reflect your taste, personality, and personal style. Our exclusive collection of carefully curated, affordable luxury watches is what you need to make a personalized style statement. You can take pride in your prized possession, handing it over to the next generations as your most loved asset that they can also own and display with the same pride. These high-quality pieces stand the test of time, giving exceptional value and return on your investment. Go to la-touraine.com and use code DOB at checkout and get 10% off.
If you're looking for unique sports apparel, check out Streaker Sports. They've dug deep into the archives and have brought back some incredible defunct team logos and have even created entire defunct league collections. They also have collections paying homage to sports culture, including the Miracle on Ice, Slap Shot, Caddyshack, the Mighty Ducks, and even have a license with Wiffle Ball and USA Hockey. Only for Drunk on Broad listeners, use code BROAD at checkout to get 10% off anything at streakersports.com. Again, that's 10% off anything at streakersports.com with discount code BROAD.
All right, we're back. We're back. Listen, the fantasy drafts are kind of wrapping up. Next week.
Man, mine are just starting, motherfucker. God damn.
Oh,
God.
We got a little bit. Well, Rich, we got what? T-minus about a week.
Yeah.
Until they got to be in.
I have 2 drafts tomorrow night at the same time.
Ooh, that's gonna have to go multiple devices, Rich.
Phone and laptop.
Nice.
I am not. Nice. I haven't had nothing but pick 5 and 6, and then 12 in the fired up league that I had auto draft.
Yeah.
Which I am whatever. It's I lose, I win, I win. I don't care. I still like my team, but fantasy is kind of nutty this year because it's the year of the wide receiver. Me and Don are co-owner of a team and for an Australian football team and
you
an
shout out
Australian
to the guy,
football podcast.
The guys, the Any Given Sunday podcast. It's an NFL podcast in Australia. Saw some stuff online. Said, why not? Good day, mate. Put another shrimp on the barbie. But we got, so those drafts are kind of wrapping up, right? Some of them are ramping up, but we got T-minus a week, right? A week from tonight, we're going to have the first game, right? The Lions and Chiefs are going to kick it off. Where are you at in terms of like, are there, Rich, so your draft coming up?
Yes.
How wide receiver heavy do you go?
This year, if I am in the top 3, I am taking Justin Jefferson if I get a chance, or I am looking at Jamar Chase. I am looking at Tyreek Hill, because you're going to come back in the second round and you're going to get guys like Josh Jacobs in the second, and then in the third, possibly a guy like Joe Mixon, who has no competition in the backfield. And then in the 5th round, you can get Cam Akers, who also has no competition, who's just going to be volume play. And that's what you want in fantasy football. Guys who are not sharing backfields with anybody. The guys in the top, yeah, they're going to be the top guys. You're going to miss out on the CMCs, but you need to have a solid number wide receiver 1, because by the end of round 2, all those number 1 wide receivers are gone. So you need to hit 1. And if you can hit 2 and then in the 3rd round come back and get Josh Jacobs or Joe Mixon, like that's what you do.
What about a guy like Bijan? Because Bijan's a guy who's getting a lot of love at the top of these drafts. I've seen him go in top 5 in a bunch of drafts.
I mean, I'm taking Bijan at 7 or 8.
Okay.
If those wide receivers are gone, just again, sure fucking volume.
Yeah.
And that's what you want from a guy like that. He's going to catch passes. He's going to be a number 1 option. He's going to be the guy. What kind of scares me, to be honest with you, with Bijan is they still have Algier and they still have Cordero Patterson. But do I think it's going to affect him? Not really, but I also think Arthur Smith's a fucking moron. So that hurts. And we've seen this before with CEH, highly touted guy, supposed to get the rock all the time. And then they kind of split it. Yes, generational talent. But I want to see how they utilize him, to be honest with you.
Joe, what about you? What do you like when you're going through these drafts?
I mean, for me, I've done. I'm in three drafts, but each round, especially, the first 4 to 5 rounds, I'm trying to get at least 2 top tier receivers at the very least, just because it's such a pass happy league. You're looking for the guys that it's all volume. Like Rich said, it's all volume. You're going to go team to team and player to player, and you're going to pick a guy that's going to catch 60, that for sure is going to catch 60, 70, 80 balls for the season. That's kind of my motto, because there's not a lot of top backs. There's not a lot of top backs, and then you run into the running back by committee. So you're handcuffing yourself when you do that. When I take a running back, or when I'm looking at taking a running back, I'm trying to get a guy who I know for sure is the clear cut number 1.
Right. Now, in the fired up draft, I got stuck, and I say stuck like. I just kept for whatever reason. I just kept giving myself a reason to keep passing on quarterbacks, and then I think it was in round 9 or 10. right? I'm looking at Tua there, and I'm going, if they got all these fucking weapons in Miami, somebody's got to throw him the fucking ball.
He's got
So like to me, I'm looking at that going, it kind of worked out because I was worried. Like I'm looking at some of these names, I'm like, I don't want Kirk Cousins, I don't want the slop that's in the NFC South, and I was like, you know what, like if that offense is gonna be as dynamic as we think it might be, and he can stay mildly upright, like somebody's got to throw those dudes the ball. So Tyreek Hill is not going to rack up yards without him getting the ball. Jalen Waddle's not going to rack up these yards without somebody getting him the ball. So talk about guys at the back end of the draft, right? Because like a guy like, I'm trying to think of a guy like Isaiah Pacheco, right? Who last year, you could have probably got off the scrap heap. Probably in a bunch of drafts, probably went undrafted, right?
Yeah.
Who's a guy like that, Rich, that you're looking at back end of the draft?
Back into the draft, like wide receiver or running back?
Either.
I'm looking at guys like Tank Bigsby in Jacksonville. He's going to be one of those guys who's the pounder. He's going to take over. I feel like he's going to be the guy that you're going to get the ball in second half of the season. He's a guy you're going to have to wait on. He's going to be one of those guys that you need. I'm looking at Tajay Spears. I'm looking at, the backup to Derrick Henry. And you've seen what he can do in the preseason. That guy runs fucking angry too. They have two guys who will run angry. Wide receiver wise, I'm looking at guys like Justin Ross. Impressive guy, made the roster for Kansas City. Give me him. But since we stopped drafting in our leagues, the main guy that I'm looking at is my boy Quentin Johnston. I think Quentin Johnston is going to be the number one wide receiver this year for the Chargers.
Wow.
And
really,
I'm not only saying that because of obviously you have Austin Eckler, but you've seen it time and time again. Mike Williams never stays healthy. He's going to automatically slide into that wide receiver 3 role. You're going to move Keenan Allen to the slot a lot, which is perfect for him. He doesn't have to play outside. And then you have two towers on the outside in Mike Williams and Johnson. And Johnson's a guy who, he had the 4.5 combine, wasn't that good, but his on-field speed and his vertical and his acceleration, he's going to be hard to stop. He's going to be one of those guys that you see. He's going to be one of those guys that you see, and it's like he wasn't combine fast, but he's football fast. And he's bigger and more athletic than fucking everybody.
He just plays fast.
Like he is one of those guys who is deceptively fucking quick.
Jay, you got anybody? Anybody you're going to stash at the back of the draft?
Well, looking back at it, I kind of second guessed myself on some of my bench players, but I wanted the one draft I was in. I wanted to take. I really had a good feeling about Kenny Gainwell. I got
him in a couple of games. I got him on a couple of teams too.
No, he's the kind of guy that can break it at some point. And he's a reliable guy. He'll get you a decent amount of touchdowns. And then a guy like Addison on Minnesota. The attention is going to be on Jefferson. Don't get me wrong, Jefferson's still going to get his, but a guy like Addison as your wide receiver 2 is going to be a guy who I think is still going to get his fair share of targets, yardage, touchdowns, whatever.
I am the opposite on Addison because when we were doing the show, me and Travis was explaining. Travis made a good point when I made the pick of George Pickens. He said to me, he's like, do you think George Pickens is going to get more targets than Pat Freiermuth? And I was like, more targets? And he's like, not catches, targets. And I was like, no. And he's like, and that's exactly how you have to think when you're going into the fantasy draft. Addison is the fourth option on that team that Justin Jefferson dominates. As good as he is, you still have Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, Madison, KJ Osborne. So he could be the fourth or fifth option on that team, barring an injury to one of those guys. As much as I love Addison, the talent, I think he's going to be football player over fantasy player until next year because sophomore wide receivers fucking kill it.
Too early.
Too early. It's just
Did he go to USC? I think he went to USC.
I don't know. Zay Flowers went to Boston College. Let me look it up.
Right. Yep.
I was gonna say because Zay Flowers is a guy that kind of fits that mold, right? A guy that you can probably pick up in that 12, 13, 14, 15, like that round.
So he originally started at Pittsburgh. Then he went to USC.
Okay.
That's right.
Right.
Didn't he transfer after he wins the Biletnikoff at Pitt?
The Biletnikoff.
Oh gosh. Well, listen, this is. I'm really, really excited, right? Because Rich will have I'll get in touch with Trav, but next week we'll have the Losing Sucks fantasy advice segment that we'll be able to play. So tune in if you're setting your lineups.
That was a fun fucking show, breaking down the fantasy.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I'll tell you
was
what,
fun breaking down our draft.
Being on the end, like it was cool to hear somebody break down the picks, like to look at that. Like it kind of felt like you feel when you're watching a draft and you're watching them pick these guys from college. Like it was like, oh, I like this pick. I didn't like this pick. I was actually enjoying the fact that like I was catching a lot of shit for some of the picks I was making because I took a bunch of chances.
You did. You also, I think, guys that running backs who are not going to play.
Hey, listen.
Don's starting running back is Joe Booch. Joe Booch. King of Prussia.
The first play.
Joe Booch, rookie.
I'll tell you what, Rich.
Rookie from Exxon to truck stop. Rookie.
What I was kind of banking on, I was kind of banking on him getting traded.
Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. Did you see the fucking outrageous requests? Did you see any of those?
No.
What
they sent to Miami? What they wanted from Miami? They wanted multiple 1 or 2 first or seconds and Jalen Waddle. And Miami was like, no. And they're like, well, that's what they want. So essentially what they were doing, Irsay was telling fucking whatever his name is, Chris Ballard, to how I feel is come up with some crazy shit, send it around, and be like, oh, sorry, we couldn't get it, and now we're going to put you on the pup when he's not even hurt. Because remember, it's his back. Now it's his ankle. That's why he's on the pup. No, Jim Irsay is essentially punishing him, and it's fucking stupid. It's just one of the dumbest things in football. And I think Irsay's a fucking moron because he should have traded him, got back some assets because are you going to franchise him again next year and do the same fucking thing? You're not going to pay him. So you might as well just let him walk at the end of the year. You should have just traded him for what you could get. Say a 2 and a 3 or multiple 3s or just a single 1. Why they didn't entertain that is just dumb.
No.
Irsay's a fucking drunk pill popper, so I don't fucking.
I was gonna say Jim Irsay's fucking dumb. So there you go.
Hey, let's trade for Carson Wentz.
You don't have to, Joe.
Hey,
Joe. When you make a stop, right? Just make a right and just keep going until you get to a farm in South Dakota.
There you go.
And say, hey. You want to come? You want to come play on my fantasy team?
It's bad. You're in a really bad spot when Nathan Peterman gets a job over you. It's bad. The shit's it's getting real. That you're running out of time.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he's done. I mean, it'll be some desperate move, but it's not good. Not good for him. But
I can't imagine him coming in and buying into a system and being a guy that's going to be helpful in the quarterback room and to his teammates.
Yeah, I also think his ego's too big to go somewhere to try to build his reputation back.
Right.
Like, his ego is too big for him to go to a USFL, XFL, Canadian football, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
To go there and prove himself, because I think the fear that he would go there and still suck is so paralyzing that he'd rather just.
Is that a fear or reality, Don? Is it a fear or reality?
Is it both?
I mean, I think it is. I think it is both.
I mean, I think he's going to take his tens of millions of dollars and go live on a farm.
Go shoot some ducks, dude. Just go shoot some ducks.
Yeah, he and his brother will go kill some animals that didn't know they were about to die, and
for no reason.
For no fucking reason, so he can take a picture and post it on Instagram, and just go live his best life and say thank you to the Lord and call it a day.
Fuck him. I don't give a shit.
Whatever. But on that note, gentlemen, final thoughts. What do we got for final thoughts?
Oh, it's go Birds. It's football season, guys. Enjoy the fall weather coming up, the Sundays of nonstop football action. You can actually go out in the afternoon and do stuff with the family and not get shit on and still have your phone on you, because the Eagles play a shit ton of 4:00 games and on. It is going to be a lot of long nights. It's going to be a lot of long nights.
100%.
So enjoy your Sundays, because you actually can do shit. And then watch the games. I was kind of upset there wasn't a lot of 1:00 games, but at the same time, when you spent all day on the couch watching football, which is not a bad thing. It's an amazing thing. But now you don't feel obligated. Just don't forget to set your fantasy lineups. Enjoy the fall weather that's coming up. Enjoy your Labor Day. Be safe. Enjoy it. Kids are going back to school. Enjoy the time that you have left with them being home, and then celebrate when they're back in school. Final thoughts.
That's right. Joe, what do you got?
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate it. Well said. Now, I mean, how am I supposed to follow up on that? Shout out to Jay, our the fourth horseman, the fourth wheel of our pod. Not necessarily fourth wheel, but
Jay Bird.
Jay's doing great. Jay's in a really good place. I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't talk to him every day, but when I do talk to him, it's usually through text. I actually talked to him on the phone a couple of days ago, and
nice.
he's light years better than he was. He's
nice.
He's on the right path. He's getting treatment. He's getting the help that he's needed, and
good.
He's in a great place. I don't know if he's talked to you guys or if you've heard from him, but
a little bit.
I think he's just getting himself right, getting himself better, and he's in a great place. He sounds great. It's so uplifting to see and hear how much better he's doing now as compared to how he was just like, I don't know, month, 2-3 months ago. So all your support and checking in and thoughts and prayers and everything has really, kind of built him up, and Jay's a man of faith. So I think that's really gotten through near death's door. I mean, Jay was, in a really, really dark place, and he wasn't able to get himself out until recently. So he's doing great. So
good.
Let's applaud
absolutely
on how he's was able to fix things and how things were affecting him, and he's able to talk to somebody and work through it and build himself up and get that confidence back, and just he's able to handle life, and he takes it. He's on a great path, and he's getting to the top of the mountain. So.
Listen,
we love you, Jay.
Shout out to Jay. Jay's working really hard to get that. So yeah, listen, it'll be great. Whenever Jay's ready to jump back on, it'll be great to have Jay back on and part of the conversation. And we'll just keep him. Keep checking in on him.
Hey, maybe he'll come out of the bullpen better than Craig Kimbrell.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Well, listen.
We can't end like that.
Nah, but listen.
Sorry, guys.
No, listen. I saw. Did you all see what happened at Nebraska over the weekend?
No.
They set a record, Rich, for the largest attendance for a female collegiate sport. They had the volleyball court in the middle of the football stadium, and they had 92,003 people watching a female volleyball game.
That's pretty dope.
That's pretty cool to see, man. It was cool to see a university celebrate one of the not as publicized sports as they would for the football. And it got me thinking, like, how could we recreate something like that? And I came up with a little idea, but it doesn't involve college at all. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
You know how the NFL likes to play games in different locations, right?
Yes.
If we had the Eagles and the Steelers play at Penn State, and you had 100,000+ people,
that'd be cool. That would actually be cool.
You would have, and it wouldn't. It can't be a preseason game. It can't be.
No.
It would have to be a regular season game. But I thought, like, if you had 100,000+ people coming from each side of the state,
that'd be cool.
and it's meeting right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
That would just be. It would just be a super cool way to celebrate the state, playing at a neutral site, but it's it's geographically right in the middle of both teams. I just thought that would be that. It's just something cool I just thought about today.
That's great.
Just super cool to see, not just the football, baseball, basketball athletes getting celebrated. It was cool to see the university celebrate, and they set a Guinness Book of World Records.
Fantastic.
That's pretty awesome.
Don, did you send that email yet to Roger Goodell pitching your idea?
I did. It's heading up to Fifth Avenue, the NFL league office. I'm sending it up there. Listen, I'm trying to get some nominal funds, Joe.
You got Roger Goodell on speed dial?
Rich, send us home, brother.
You stuck around, you fucked around, you found out. I'm Rich, Joe, Don, and as we always say, fuck Deshaun Watson, fuck Carson Wentz, fuck Ben Simmons, fuck Spike Eskin, fuck Davion Taylor, fuck Rich Gannon, you piece of shit. We are going to fucking kill you guys when we play you, and I can't wait. And as always, fuck the Cowboys, because you ain't welcome around here. Welcome to Philly, bitches. Drunk on Broad. Thanks for sticking with us. Episode 2008. Peace.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.